what I want people to take away from this is that you should be able to talk to almost anyone about Bernie. Maybe not exactly anyone, but almost anyone. And it's actually pretty easy. I've been a socialist for 10 years, like a dues paying one. And in that time, I've done all kinds of things. And I did Planned Parenthood work, and I did like Occupy Wall Street, and hated every minute of it. And I did political campaigns and all kinds of social movements. But I can honestly say that Bernie Sanders is the greatest political opportunity of my lifetime. They don't happen that frequently, and we have a real shot. We're going to have to thread the needle, and we might not win, but if we don't, I don't want it to be because I didn't do everything in my power possible. I maxed out on donations, and I'm going to donate a bunch of my time, and I hope you'll join me in some way. So I wonder if you could just sort of talk to us about what we can do to help Bernie.
Sure, and I appreciate that. Because there's a difference between saying I support somebody and being willing to do what's necessary. Now, here's the bad news. I don't have any magic bullet. There's no one thing I'm going to say that's like, oh, that's the one thing I got to do and that'll just fix everything. Winning politics is ultimately can be a real grind. It's not, I wouldn't call it boring, but it's not
tedious at times.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's a grind. It's a slog, right? So
a schlep, as Bernie might say.
There you go. Like the idea is that you have to talk to as many people as you can, and ideally, you're talking to as many persuadable people to bring them out to vote. I mean, I can tell you this. Last year, when my wife ran for state legislature in Colorado, I mean, a race like that, it was sort of in Colorado, was kind of a big primary. I mean, sort of small, a teeny version of the Bernie primary. And ultimately, it came down to you got to knock on a zillion doors, right? You got to knock on the right doors. Like you ideally want to knock on everyone's doors, but like you can't knock on absolutely everyone's doors. So you got to knock on.
We're not doing like
doors.
The overly deterministic Hillary thing where we're like, we're going to knock on the same 3 doors 10,000 times, but there's better doors than others.
Right. So all of that is to say, how do you communicate with the right people? So the first thing that we have is the app, Burn. I don't know if you've seen the app. It's pretty amazing. Okay.
I know. I know about the app.
So everybody can go to app.berniesanders.com, which will basically help you know the people in your communities who you can work with to canvass your neighborhood. And then you basically take down the feedback that you get from canvassing, which helps the campaign in an ongoing way communicate with those potentially persuadable voters. You can also check out map.berniesanders.com to find events in your community that are happening, organizing events, phone banking events, and the like. A lot of the events are actually pretty fun.
Phone banking parties are really fun. I'm going to have one.
They are. And then there's soon going to be on our website, I'm told it's not there just yet, but will be there very soon, which is the phone dialer, where it will basically help you connect you with the calls of the voters that we need to get out. People who have either been open to the campaign or are potential volunteers of the campaign. And I want to be clear, this is not like super sexy stuff. This is like, a real slog. I would also say this. I would encourage people to make them fun. I mean, when we did phone banking for my wife, I mean, it was like, we had beer and pizza. It was, it's a pretty fun time. But then again, you're calling like a zillion people and just talking to strangers and asking them.
Sure, it's not raising the red flag at the Reichstag. That'll be later. But so let's see here. Phone banking.
Right.
Door knocking.
Right.
We've got the apps.
Right.
And every little dollar helps.
Yes, absolutely. I should have said that. Yes. Obviously, contributing. You can become a monthly contributor at the website, berniesanders.com. You can do a one-time donation. I mean, look, he's not, I'm sure everybody knows this, he is not relying on big money voters. I mean, he's not doing these huge, fundraisers with large donors. So he needs as many people to give as possible. And by the way, I should mention, if you can give, that's great. If you know 5 other people who you can each throw in 5, 10, 15 bucks, that's great, right? I mean, you can hold a small dollar fundraiser for Bernie. I mean, there's, you can get in touch with the campaign about, surrogates and organizing these events. And again, those events are available on map.berniesanders.com.
Right. Well, look, whether it's time or money or both, everyone can help in some way. And like I said, we have a real shot here. I'm going to be doing everything I can, and I hope you'll join me. We'll include all of those links on the episode description if they fit, and we'll be
I would agree
tweeting them
with you
out.
about one last thing I want to say, which is the idea of us having a real shot. I mean, this campaign really does have a real shot, and your point about it, a real shot for the kind of candidate Bernie is, coming around so infrequently. I mean, I don't want to say it's a once every 100-year phenomenon. But
It's pretty rare.
I mean, it's if you really look back on history, it is really rare that a candidate with his politics, who is building a grassroots movement that is independent from the power structure. I mean, I don't know if there's a lot of I don't think there's a lot of examples of that in history that has a real shot to actually win a national election.
They're not particularly in America, and I got to say, I didn't really see Bernie coming. It's not my sort of political socialist tradition. I believe that, a lot of people are like, Bernie won't bring socialism. Well, no, he won't. I firmly believe, very traditional Marxist, that only an invigorated trade union movement will bring socialism. But Bernie could really help out getting the boots off of the union's neck. And to me, that is going to be absolutely essential. It's a big deal. It's a presidential election that might actually make a difference. Usually they don't.
It's huge.
It's huge.
It's huge.